Continuing on, we're going to get to the air source. For the blade saw, this first picture here, we have incoming air into a shutoff valve. This shutoff valve also has holes at the bottom for our lockout tagout. It also has a venting system in it. So when we shut air off, it automatically relieves pressure on the blade saw and lets that air pressure drain down. When we push this down, you're going to hear the air expel from there, and that's going to relieve the pressure. So our clamps are going to fall down and all that good stuff. So just make sure when you push this down, you understand what's going to happen. As we move across the filter regulator assembly, in here we have a filter. It is a serviceable filter. And then down here we do have a small drain. You should only be getting a few drops of air out of this weekly if you need to drain that at all. There is a sight glass there. If you see a bunch of moisture building up, we may need to look at what's going on with our air system. We have a gauge that will tell us what our pressure is coming in. And we have a regulator at the top that you lift up and you would turn it clockwise or to the right to increase pressure or turn it down to decrease pressure. To the left here, this little with the gray cable coming in, this is our pressure indicator, our switch. If you get a low pressure fault on your screen, it's coming from this sensor right in here, coming back to the PLC telling it, hey, I don't have enough air pressure. We're not going to let anything run on the saw until we figure out what's going on with air pressure. The pressure switch, we're coming through to this junction here. We got multiple air lines going to multiple valves and regulators on the machine. One of these lines coming out is going to that regulator in the previous screen that is for the pressure of the print system. The unit over here on the right is the pressure unit. It's a standalone pressure unit. This is a regulator here. Again, shows you a nice little picture here. We're gonna turn it clockwise to increase pressure. We're going to turn it counterclockwise to decrease pressure. We have a gauge here that's going to show us our system pressure. We have an on and off switch down here for power. We also have a cable that's quick disconnect. This is a 120 volt power supply that the customer will supply 120 volts to this. We do not get the power for this pressure system from the saw. That's very important. When we lock out, tag out the saw, this unit still could be energized. Most likely is still energized. So we need to power it down here and physically unplug it to make sure that nothing happens. That would be a lockout tag out procedure for this unit itself. These on the Cyber AT or the Cyber Saw with this Matthew setup, this unit here is delivering 4 to 7 psi is the normal. The blade saw has 110 psi coming into it, and we regulate that down at the print regulator. Again, we'll talk about this later on.